Yo guys, what is up? So today I want to make a quick video about downplaying and how it kind of affects Tekken. Um, this is something that we all do, whether you notice it or not. Everybody downplays at least a little bit. And yeah, I'm not gonna waste much more time. It's a long video. Let's go straight into it. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna just start off with Steve for this video. All right. Why exactly do I think that Steve is not garbage? Well, for one, I mean his counter hits, right? People say he's not the counter hit character anymore. Uh, I feel that's kind of not true, and kind of true at the same time. What do I mean? He still overall is probably the best counter hitting character. It's just that currently, with the way that some things are, say King's down forward 2, or I don't know, maybe Lee's 4-4-4. You could say that he maybe isn't the best counter hitting character, but I disagree. I think he's still the best counter hit character. Uh, he has a lot of really strong stuff. Um, Secondly, this is probably the safest character in the game. Um, Genuinely, this Steve is extremely safe on almost everything. His lows, not launch punishable. I mean, if you do, if you just throw out something like that, then it'll be launch punishable. But if you're really careful with how you're playing, you don't really have any launch punishable lows. So, uh, see, minus 12. I'm sorry, by the way, I'm looking for the inputs. I just haven't played Steve in a while. But people, for whatever reason, just think that he has the absolute worst lows. Look at that. None of them have passed, I think, minus 13. Minus 11. Minus 18. So this one is launch punishable, except nobody's just throwing out this. They'll go low mid, and you're only minus 11. So people say, I've seen some people say he has terrible lows. No, he doesn't. He might not have the absolute best lows in the game or anything like that, but to say he has the worst lows is crazy. Sorry, I'm trying to see how much this one is. Minus 12. Minus 12 for this shit. I mean, to be fair, you have time to hit him out of it, but it's like, this move back in Tekken 7 gave me a lot of problems when I didn't know what the fuck I was, trying to do. But minus 12. So, he doesn't have the worst lows, not even close, as people will try to tell you he does. He doesn't have the worst, he has some of the best counter hits. He's one of the safest characters in the game, the entire game. He has evasion, especially with this right here. Um, get the hell out of pressure. Welcome back, Fang. He has sways, which are kind of like Yoshi's spin. I mean, it's much weaker than the spin, but you understand. It's still a mini little sidestep. He has this right here, high crushing. Oh. I don't really even know the combos. I haven't played Steve in a while, but maybe this right here. Oh, I screwed it up. But anyways, um, yeah, he has some of the best poking in the game. I mean, his down forward 1 is really good. Like, he has a really strong down forward 1. It's one of my favorites in the game. What does Steve lack? In my opinion, the only thing he's lacking is not his heat. I've seen some people say his heat sucks. No, it doesn't. It's literally a crazy mix-up. It's a little bit slow. Actually, I don't even think it's slow. Is it? Okay, it is a little bit slow as you need to do a deep dash. And I don't believe that you can. Okay, yeah. But what else? He also has bad launcher. That's the one thing I think he has. His launchers kind of suck. For example, his orbital's minus 14. Uh, that is probably the worst orbital in the game. I could be wrong, but he doesn't have launchers, but it doesn't hurt him because he has so many good counter hits. These moves right here. Look at how much damage into a heat engager. His power crush too, but his power crush is pretty weak. Like it's really slow. I don't really like it. But his wall running's good. For some reason, it feels like it tracks more than some of the other ones. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe I'm stepping the wrong way. Um, he also, this move right here, 1+2, is a god move. I never see people talk about this move, but this move has some of the best range in the game. This hits from anywhere. Alright, next character I want to talk about is Paul. He's not the people who play him aren't as annoying as Steve or Zafina, who keep begging and begging for buffs. But he's actually in a really strong state right now. He's probably in the top 20, which like I said might not seem like a lot because there's some better characters, but when you really think about it, this game there's no real bad character. Even Eddie, who I think is maybe the worst character in the game, isn't that bad. So why do I think Paul doesn't need any buffs? Well, for one, I mean his damage is insane. He's basically Jin in Heat. I mean, look at that. Oh, and I dropped it. I mean, he's basically a stronger. He has a stronger version of Jin's Heat Smash. Oh, I dropped the death fist. Alright, whatever. And so that's already kind of problematic, as that shit hits from like half screen. But okay, next thing, his lows aren't that great, in all honesty, but he does have this. So Demo Man is pretty cool. It is launch punishable though, so it is kind of risky. He has, I think, yeah, this low right here is okay. It's only -12. And on counter hit, it gives you, oh, here, and on counter hit, gives a lot of damage. So I think that Paul has average to below average lows overall, kind of, but it's okay. How much is this? Yeah, -17. So a lot of his like regular lows, like for example this, are extremely risky. So Paul is a character you gotta kind of scare off. I think baiting people into believing you're doing Demo Man is great, because then you'll just death fist, especially at wall. At wall, Paul is a monster. But what other reasons do I think he doesn't get a buff? Well, for example, forward 2 is literally amazing. Leaves you +9 as a heat engager. Does 41 damage. It does a little bit less. I have rage on. 41 damage and 13 frames, and it combos. I will say the combo damage is really weak, but I mean you still have a 13 frame launcher. Paul, right now this move is extremely strong. I would be surprised if this somehow slipped under the cracks and didn't get nerfed, because it's also safe. It's a high, but you're not seeing this. Paul has a lot of big, like strong buttons. That's like +5, +1. Like these are all highs, but they're really fast. This one you can see, but it's also really fast. You're not really actually. When I look at it, I don't think you're really looking out for this. Like it's really high. He also has the best down forward 2 in the game. The range is great. Pretty sure it high crushes. It is safe, and you could also. Okay, I actually was wrong. I thought you could backsway off it. Alright, I haven't played him in a while, so I do apologize. But yeah, so Paul, I think, is actually in a really good state. I think more characters should be balanced like Paul. Paul, Heihachi, and these characters, I think, are actually really well balanced. I say as he just gets fucking thrown to the wall off a grab. Alright, so now Lee. Lee is actually the one I think actually has the most like valid downplaying in this game. Quote unquote valid. I mean, not because I think he is bad, but he's actually strong. He has 1+2, 4, 4, 3. This is a cool launcher, especially on for whiff. He has a lot of strong stuff. You know, he's one of the best characters at wall. Um, what exactly is he missing? The one thing that would make Lee a lot better is if he had what's it called? A heat. He doesn't have a heat. He's probably the only character that I can think of who has no heat. What do I mean? For example, you go into heat, and what can you do? You build up your heat meter from doing these moves, right? Oh, all right. So I'm screwing up his easy stress frame. All right. All right. I don't know. I screwed that up 3 times, but anyways. So you see your meter, right? What can you do? Your only real option is do something like this, which you're not doing, or this, or most people are gonna do 4-4-3, or they'll do their heat smash, which is actually shit. It's a really bad heat smash. -14. Compared to that to Paul's -12. And also note the damage from the heat smash. This is the lowest, I'm sure. 40 with rage on, and I think that it actually has the worst range of a heat smash next to Heihachi. But I could be wrong on that. Okay, I might be wrong on that. So, what exactly would he need? He needs something in heat. For example, when Brian is in heat, he'll get incinerator. He can't have it outside of heat, but incinerator is mainly used in heat because of the you get infinite snake eyes, right? Or for example, say I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of a character who gets stronger. Fang, for example, his back one is really strong. He has the stomp. Let's Dragonov is also strong because actually Dragonov is kind of in the same boat. Oh wait, no, he has tackle. He has tackle, so unbreakable tackle, and then you'd have to guess on the second one. So he's also strong with that. Uh, every single character even the ones like that I'm like, my actually they don't have it either. There's always something they have. Lee's only gimmick is this. Here, let's just spam it. He'll do the just frames for you, and that's it. So, if you actually know how to do the just frames, like how I just hit it twice there in a row, if you actually can hit these, then the Lee's heat does nothing for you. It is actually straight up useless. Okay, now I can't hit it anymore, I guess. Alright. So, his heat will become useless for you. So, how do I fix it? Just give him something in heat. Maybe, give him like maybe his just frames do more damage. Or they're like a frame faster. I don't need, well, actually, no, because 9 frames would be crazy. I don't know. There's definitely something they could do. They could give him a new move, and I'm actually looking forward to season 2 to see what they do with Lee's heat. I would hope they wouldn't ignore it because if other characters' heats are getting buffed, that would be really bad for Lee considering he has no heat. Uh, strong character again, like everybody, but he's probably bottom 10, bottom 15. He's worse than Paul. There's like 36 characters, so he's near Paul. He's probably worse than Paul, but he overall is still pretty good, better than a lot of characters. All right, here's one of the more annoying ones where people love to whine about. It's Zafina. Please stop whining and asking her to be buffed. We already saw what a buffed version of her was like in Tekken 7. We don't need that again. Also, um, what does this character have that is good and what does she lack? For one, her Azazel moves are all really strong. Um, for two, the Scarecrow stance kind of is annoying, mainly just because she gets one jab off. She gets a 14 frame -16 engager. But um, what does she have that's the absolute worst? And that's her evasion. Her evasion is really strong. It's like Xiao Yu levels of evasion. Um, and she also has this parry right here, which I find extremely annoying. because you gotta be very careful. You gotta bait it out on on whiff. Look at that. It's slow, but time it perfectly, and this thing is extremely strong. She takes damage to herself, but in a second she'll get it all back, and you'll be the one taking all that damage. Like well, maybe not that much, but here I'll showcase it. All right, all right. Let's see this. Right, all that damage is guaranteed from the parry. A third of your health bar gone. Super strong move. It is really annoying. I think Zafina also has the highest win rate. I don't know if I already mentioned that, but she has the highest win rate next to Panda and Sheen, I think, or Akuma. And I think she's extremely strong. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. I think she's not top tier. She's in the same boat as Lee. I think the problem is just that people want more buffs to this character, who's already annoying to fight. And if she gets too many buffs, I'm afraid she'll be like Tekken 7 Zafina, who was extremely OP and had the best movement in the game, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't played Zafina in Tekken 7 in like 2 years, but yeah. Alright, I'm gonna make this one quick because Whoring we all know is strong, but Whoring players will somehow. I've seen many people try to convince me otherwise, that he's weak and that he is the hardest combos in the game and that he's super hard and. Or, I guess you could. Alright, there might be an argument for that because he's kind of flowcharty, so once people understand that, it's a little bit more difficult to win. But he's still super strong, and it's I don't think it's all that bad. He also has yes, you and mine, our favorite move in the game that definitely does not need nerfs. Yeah, I don't even really want to talk about this character because these people are just they're just gaslighting themselves into believing it. I mean, this one character alone killed Key Charged, so that's all I'm gonna say. All right, and to end this video off, I'm just gonna showcase Brian and Jin. Two characters who in Tekken 7 were actually pretty advanced. And in this game, I'm a Brian main, by the way, so I'm not hating just because I can. Uh, they kind of dumbed down Brian a little bit or kind of a lot with these moves right here. Quarter circle back one, quarter circle forward 1+2, and incinerator. Okay, all right. I almost never, if I'm being honest, I actually almost never used this, and I also almost never used this. It's kind of rare for me to throw those out. This I'll occasionally throw out, but so okay. So why are these moves making him dumb? Because that's all you actually technically need, and then you'll throw out a hatchet or two. Hatchet's obviously a really good low. Everybody knows this. It's not broken or anything, but it's definitely a really strong low. Okay. So what about Jin? What does he have? He has 2-1-4 down 2, which is getting nerfed, both of them. But now he's getting more buffs, so Jin players are gonna find a way to somehow, say he sucks. Jin is gonna be very strong. He actually might be stronger this season, which is kind of scary. But I'm gonna hold my tongue on that. I don't know just yet. We don't know the details. But how could they make Brian more advanced again? I don't think it's just as easy as spamming this shit on counter hit every time, like how people like to tell you. Especially in high ranks in 7. But how could they make him more advanced again? For one, Brian down players are gonna say, "Yeah, he's hard because he has taunt." Yeah, taunt's probably the hardest thing in the game. Like I can't really taunt Jet up, or I've hit it maybe like 2 times in my life, maybe. But you don't need taunt, and that's just the truth. You don't need taunt. If you want to maximize Brian, you need taunt, but that's if you're trying to like absolute best Brian you're trying to be, or you could possibly be, which you don't really necessarily need that. He's already strong enough, and they need to get rid of this, and this. Nerf it. It doesn't have to be like make them unviable completely, but nerf those moves to make him more of a kind of like how he was in 7 a little bit, in the way where he was actually, I think he was really well balanced, to be honest. Um, I don't know. I mean, I know some people have hated him since 7, but I really don't think he was problematic in 7. But I could be wrong. And Jin is the same thing. Nerf his big moves. The new ones that look to be extremely strong, like the Omen sweep, I think is like minus 14 now, and I don't think it staggers. So nerf that as well. Nerf a lot of these characters' main tools. Make them kind of advanced to play again. And then people bitching to you about you playing your favorite character. Then it'll be okay. It'll be funny. But for now, it's like, yeah, I guess my character's kind of broken. Um, but then again, I could say that for like half of these characters, so yeah. But yeah, guys. So that's actually gonna be it for the video. I know it's also kind of a longer video, just like my last one. So I apologize if people don't really want to watch a long video. I mean, I get that. um, but I just kind of wanted to talk about what I think about this stuff and why downplaying is kind of a problem, but at the same time, we all do it. Look at Main Man Sui with Kazuya. He's gotten better though recently. I mean, he's been like I remember he put on one of his tier lists. He put Kazuya in C tier back in Tekken 7. Now he acknowledges him as a very strong character, which is good. Which is good. He is a strong character, very strong. Or D all the way G, who says Eddie. He'll say Brian is like kind of brain dead. Heihachi is kind of brain dead, which I understand parts of that. But then he'll say that Lee is maybe an advanced, and that Eddie is also maybe an advanced. Eddie is the most brain dead out of all those characters that I just named. He's also the worst, though, to be fair. But I don't get people downplaying their mains. Uh, at least not to that extent, where you say that one of the easiest characters is the hardest because you play him. But yeah, that's basically my video. And sorry if it's too long or if I yap too much, but I appreciate it for watching. Thank you.